Chain reactor spitting fire. The NFT analyzer. Diving deep into projects. He's the crypto energizer. From your meme coins to tokens. He's got all the intel. Web3 wizardry. He'll show you where to excel. He's got the insights like a digital magician. Unveiling secrets of the blockchain with precision. Wild stories from the web. He's always in the know. Crypto community vibing where the treasures blow. Web3 wonders.
GM fam. Man, what is today? Today? It's Tuesday. It's Tuesday, yeah. Happy Tuesday, guys. A really, really special Tuesday. Yes, because Pudgy Penguins, Pangu, and, I mean, to a degree, yes, because the CyberKongz announcing they're taking on the SEC. That is a special moment, I think, for a lot of us. I got their back. But, man, extra, extra special whenever we have a special guest. And we got an incredible one today, guys. We're joined by Jordan Calinoff. I got your last name right, I think, right?
Yep, that was a great pronunciation there. So yeah, I'm happy to be on the show, and I'm excited to chat about what's been an exciting time in the industry and on ApeChain too.
And especially on ApeChain, yeah, incredible. Well, so I'm trying to feel out the flow, especially when I have a guest, because normally we're talking current events, news, and it's very new and exciting for me having guests. So I asked Jordan ahead of time if he'd be cool, like going through just some of the biggest topics here, like kind of macro crypto market, the big headlines, and he said yes, which is, tell you what, man, I think it's awesome because the audience doesn't always get to hear the insider's perspective on like other stories. They hear about their projects. They hear about, what they're building. They don't often get to hear about what's the current event. So it's really cool you said yes to that. So we'll do that. And maybe if you could introduce yourself to start.
Sure. Yeah. So just as way of background. So I'm part of the ApeChain core team that recently launched the chain in October. Prior to that, I got into crypto around like 2020. My first kind of big job in crypto was working at Horizon Labs. I was the head of strategy there when we were the technical partner in the launch of ApeCoin, and then also was there throughout a lot of the products that we put out there. From the zero knowledge proof perspective. Ended up working there as the vice president of business all the way through the campaign that we joined with Arbitrum to present to the ApeCoin data to build out ApeChain. And then in, I guess, probably March or April, I left Horizon Labs and started my own firm to work full-time on ApeChain. So been building this out since, I guess, the beginning of the year. We finally got to launch. The launch was unbelievably exciting and more successful even than we had dreamed. And it's still churning along. We're getting tons of builders out there and everything. So it's been a fun ride. And also just as way of background, my background before getting into all this was in traditional finance. So I worked at big hedge funds and big banks and things like that. So this is definitely a different world and in many ways a lot more fun. So
right. Oh, dude, I can imagine. And hopefully we're just winning more people over from that world as time goes. Eventually they all come over, right?
Absolutely. I remember, the reason I originally got into this space was my last job in TradFi before I got in here. I worked on a team at UBS that built out the stress test for the Federal Reserve and also looked at existential risks to the bank. And, I kept on bringing up to our chief risk officer that, we should really look into blockchain technology and crypto. This could really disrupt a lot of the traditional finance industry, and just there was crickets there. So I realized, okay, this is something that might blindside the world a bit, and it'd be a lot of fun to be part of it and building with it. So that's kind of what drew me into it originally. And then as I got in more and more, I started enjoying a little bit more of the kind of degen side of things, and now I'm at ApeChain. So
and you're an ape, and it's very fitting to be into the degen stuff. Man, really cool. Okay, well then I got to ask this too. It's a great setup to get to know somebody. First off, what was your aha moment? Like, where crypto clicked, and you're like, oh my god, right? It's undeniable. Everything's going to change. What was that moment?
Well, it's this is going to seem very esoteric, but and probably a lot different from other answers you might have heard of this. But back when I worked in finance, I did a lot of work in frontier markets, right? So developing countries, some of the poorest countries in the world, and specifically, I did a lot. Had a lot of projects down in Guyana in South America, and Guyana had found the largest oil deposit of the last 30 years, and it's on its way to becoming Kuwait level GDP per capita.
Wow.
But it's the poorest country in the Western Hemisphere, top, bottom 2 or 3. And every time I would try to bring in oil field services companies or other companies in there, we kept running into the same problem of they couldn't trust the land registry system. Right, some of the land was owned by narco traffickers. They couldn't trust whether the deed was for real or whether the corrupt government was going to, mess with them and say, hey, this person actually owns it instead. And when I started thinking about, what blockchain can do to basically take out that uncertainty that comes from really crappy, kind of nefarious institutions. And if you had the land registry on a blockchain, for example, the amount of additional foreign direct investment that would come into that country and benefit the people would have been massive. So once I started kind of realizing that the world is full of people, and a lot of times we don't realize it living in the first world, but it's full of people living under really terrible regimes that mess with their livelihoods, their net worth, their lives, and blockchain really has the ability to kind of take a lot of power away from those bad actors. So that was kind of a weird not to bring down the mood, but that was how I ended up kind of having that aha moment.
It's one of the best I've heard, because everybody's going to apply it to their own lives, their own, their sectors they work in, whatever. And it applies to everything. So it's great we get that variety of stories, the variety of experiences. Really cool to hear. It is the great equalizer. So really, really cool perspective from you there. And then real quick, then we're getting to the news. I promise, guys. I know whatever. What company are you with right now?
So right now I have my own firm called Full Moon Labs, and our core client is the Ape Foundation. So basically, with the Ape Foundation and ApeChain, started with very early days right after the AIP passed to build out ApeChain for the community. Started working on it with a couple others, and then I took the lead in kind of building out the structure for Banana Bill, which is the big ecosystem fund. Now I've kind of moved on to working a bit more on our partner success side. So basically, how do we make this platform the ultimate platform for a crypto builder to want to build in? Make sure that this is the place where they go, okay, I can build my business long term here. So I'm focusing on that, and I'm also actually focusing on trying to bring on different types of RWAs and things like that onto ApeChain as one of my kind of segments that there as well too.
I love it. All right, I bookmarked that in my head because I definitely want to talk builders and ApeChain and kind of what it brings that maybe some other L2s don't, or maybe things that they're missing, they're not focusing on. Yeah, we'll certainly talk about that.
Yeah.
Guys, make sure you're subscribed here. We got a lot coming up, and I want to make sure you guys don't miss it. So SlamX official here on YouTube, CryptoSlam.io over on X. Let's get to then. I think there's a lot of top stories, whatever. A big story this morning, guys. The Pudgy Penguins Pangu token. Man, it's live. These guys have been grinding. It's not just in the past 24 hours, although they've been up 24 hours, all kind of huddled together. Getting ready for this drop. It's a big one. But it's been years of grinding for them, so it's great to see this pay off, and for a lot of people, a payday. That claim went live just over an hour ago, the Pengu token. I'll tell you, man, that's going to be something special. My son, I've got a 17-year-old, and he asked me about it last night. I've never had him ask me unsolicited about any crypto before. I'm like, where'd you hear about it from? And he's like, well, a friend of mine is starting to get into crypto, and he said this is a big deal. You got to find out, and you got to get into it. I'm like, your friends are talking about Pangu? Dude, blows my mind.
I love that. I love to hear that.
It's so cool that just the audience it reached. The Pudgy Penguin thesis, like these little guys, right? Toys in stores, getting it in front of everybody. That's the payoff. That's where you actually see how it, materializes. You see it in a whole other generation starting to, learn the brand. Really cool to see. By the way, are you getting some tokens today?
So I am not a Pudgy Penguin, but I'm rooting for them. So, in my mind, if this goes well and there's a lot of buzz around this, it's only going to help strengthen our community too with the apes as well. There's definitely a different niche that the penguins are going after and abstract and everything than ApeChain and the apes. But overall, it's the same theme, right? Like it's about people finding communities on the internet from all over the world and basically like changing our social structures in a way. And I love it. Like, and I think Luca's, doing a great job as a face out there for our industry. And I think this is going to be huge, actually.
Yeah.
If this is huge, then it's probably going to start a whole meta around, NFTs and
right.
things like that too. So I'm psyched.
I'm with you. There's a whole hell of a lot of PvE here. It's a PvP at times. You got to have it. It's great. It's great for you to have that competition. But this is one of those PvE moments where, like you said, it's everybody wins if this does well. It's just great. We got guys like Luca and we got guys like you and everybody over in the ApeChain ecosystem that are representing crypto. And, we're putting our best foot forward or what, it's a good look having builders like this. Guys, they make us look good. They really do. We got Pangu was trading on pre-markets at just over 4 cents, live now, and 5 cents now, actually up from pre-markets. We'll see how it kind of holds. Just it has a different kind of energy. So I'm with you. I'm rooting for the guys.
Massive market cap there too. So yeah,
wild.
It's looking good. Yeah.
I'm wondering if this gets to Pepe levels, Sheeb levels. It feels like it has that's interesting potential at least. So
yeah, absolutely. And something that I find interesting about this, like looking back at, blasts like TGE and everything like that is what they have is kind of like the apes, a built-in real community, right? This is not about farmers basically doing a lottery ticket to be beta testers for a new platform. This is about people that have put in literally years of grinding to build out and really make a community like top in our industry. And now they're actually, getting a little liquidity for all that hard work and community building. So I love to see it.
Yep, man, incredible. And then if we zoom out a little, more of the macro market, Bitcoin looking incredible still. Man, all-time high yesterday, over 107K, and we're still just about there. We're just about there. I'm not really a TA guy. I wish I was, and I've had moments, but I hear from people that I trust, respect, whatever, that we blow through 107, and it's basically, it's fast track to 120, maybe 130, which is wild. But we see ETH over 4K. Solana's our laggard here, at least the past week or two. So I don't think for long. So I got to ask you this. Again, especially somebody is dialed in, behind the scenes building, the people need to hear. Where do you think we're at in this run here? And that might be kind of hard to see, but we have hope all the way down here. Relief, optimism, excitation. I didn't know that's a word. Thrill, euphoria. We're somewhere in that range. But where do you think
I would say
right
between optimism and excitation, which I don't know. I have not heard that word either. I mean, there's just some big macro things that I think are super important. Like, I think it's been reported, but maybe underreported, the addition of MicroStrategy into the NASDAQ 100. Because what you got to think, when big markets move by institutional investors, right? So the NASDAQ, New York Stock Exchange, all that kind of stuff moves by giant pension funds, sovereign wealth funds, things like that. And there's a lot of restrictions on them allocating any of their investments into crypto. Now, having MicroStrategy there is basically like a proxy for Bitcoin that now all of them are going to own a little bit of is massive. You're talking, literally like hundreds of billions of dollars of new capital flowing in there. And my thought is, I don't know if it'll make it this cycle, but I keep on thinking about the overall market cap of gold. And I got to think that at some point in the next few years, Bitcoin will probably match that. and then we're looking at a Bitcoin price of somewhere around 300,000 or something like that.
Wild.
When I looked at it, so
Wild.
yeah, a lot of room to run, I think still.
Incredible. I like it. I'll take anything in that range. Excitation to thrill. I just don't want to be at euphoria yet, and
I think it's too early for that. There's a lot of, the regulatory changes too. Like there's some secular things that are not even cyclical this time, right? When you're actually kind of behind the scenes and weighing risk of different projects and things like that, the amount of time and effort that goes into making sure that you're not going to step on the toes of the regulators and make a mistake and ruin your project on that is immense. And the fact that that's kind of going away to a degree with a new SEC and everything is going to just allow builders to really flourish. So it's exciting times.
Are we saying this time's different?
I would say that, obviously crypto is always going to be volatile. So what goes up must come down. But I think that we have a lot more up because this time there's going to be, the handcuffs off on trying to actually come up with real world use cases that everybody wants to use that use crypto. And I think that's going to be the big thing driving stuff this cycle too.
Yeah. Oh man, incredible! Like incredibly exciting too. All right, I'm going to keep moving because I know I got you for about 30 minutes here. ETFs, just a quick spot check on that. We're not going to look at total inflows. It was a lot. I think somewhere 600 mil for Bitcoin, 20, 30 for ETH, but huge volume yesterday that combined the Bitcoin ETFs here. 4.3 billion in volume yesterday. Wild, big numbers. It's one of those things I think also going much higher, which is shocking. And then this will fit into our conversation. We probably come back to this too, but this was a big story from yesterday. The Kongs announcing they received a Wells notice. This hit close to home. My brother's on the CyberKongz team, so I've been aware for damn near 2 years now that they've been going through this, and I've seen how it limits you as builders, what you can't do. And even look, there's some things you can't do, shouldn't do, whatever, and there's other things that you think you can do and it's totally fine, and you're still unsure enough that you just don't do it anyways. Building with at least one hand tied behind your back, them two hands, because they were under investigation. Maybe we could get into now.
Yeah, I mean, my opinion on it is that I'm hoping that this is, the last of these types of things. And as Gary Gensler, exits the scene and we start getting in more logical regulators, it's going to clean things up. And, I think the misconception from, an outsider perspective on the industry is that there is this, allergy to any sort of regulation. I really don't think that's the case. I don't think there's anybody I've met in crypto who is a fan of, having to worry about, risky scams that are going to drain your wallet or things like that. Like, I certainly want regulations around that. And I also, think there should be, relative regulations around, informing people on what they're investing in and making sure that it's reasonable and safe. But things like this just seem random. They have no, you go to the SEC, you ask for clarification, they don't give it to you. It feels like they're just messing with our industry and trying to really hurt it. And, and I think that until that goes away, it like I said, it makes it harder to build. And, it's the same principle as in macroeconomics where, central banks and things like that look for price stability, because when you have price stability, it's easier to make long-term decisions about your business, right? And then you can plan for the long term. We're in a situation here in our business where sometimes it's hard to do that because of all these regulatory issues too.
That clarity is going to be awesome. It's funny enough, the industry's just straight up been asking, please regulate us, please. Just give us those guidelines. It feels like they're coming here finally. Dude, it's time to get into ApeChain. I want to shout out a couple of people real quick in the chat. Stitch, GM Man, Lemon GM, Cats Fanatic, great to see you. Loot, Barry, Tickles, Christian, Gravity. The whole damn gang is here. Ronan. By the way, anybody getting errors claiming your Pengu, I got it too. They're getting slammed, so stick with it. I'm sure it all works out just fine. But if you are getting errors, just know it's probably not you doing something wrong. I mean, double check. Probably not, though. They are getting everybody in the world, or at least in crypto, trying to claim now, so stick with it. All right, ApeChain, dude. 2 months old at this point. I think about 2 months old, which I don't know if that's a long time ago now, or if that just is like yesterday. But the time like warp that we're in here, it's kind of crazy. I feel like 2 months even is a good amount of time to get a feel for something new, a crypto product. How do you think ApeChain is doing at this point? Am I right? Is it about 2 months old?
Yeah, I think it was October 19th, so it's almost exactly
Oh,
2 months.
wow.
I would say that it's doing really well. One of the things that I've started seeing over the last couple of weeks that really made me feel good about it is we're getting a lot of applications that are popping up permissionlessly. And when you're first building it out, a lot of it is kind of a centralized effort to make sure that you have the infrastructure and tools that you need for developers to build applications and feel comfortable that their applications are going to perform well for their users. And that was a lot of what we focused on early days. And then we brought on some great applications to start. And now we're starting to see things, people going, wow, actually, this is a great chain to build on because we got real users, and a real community. And sure, I can maybe get a grant from this other chain, but then I launch and nothing happens because nobody's using it. So I would say that we're just getting started. I know Yuga Labs has some really incredible stuff planned that they're building. We have conversations every day with the biggest projects in the space and the biggest protocols about bringing them on. And already I think we have some really high quality stuff. Whether it's Magic Eden, Believer, MintPad, Mintify, all those groups on the NFT side, and then Ape Express for meme coin trading. Camelot's been killing it. So I feel like tons of room to grow. We got to keep our foot on the pedal, but so far I'm pretty happy.
Yeah, it's looking great. I know everybody's excited for it, even if they haven't dipped their toes in and raised my hand, because I'm one that hasn't quite yet. And if there's a goal today, of course, it's just to talk ApeChain, get people exposed to it. But it's probably maybe to get a couple people over just to dabble, and if that's me, awesome. By the way, whenever I go to Magic Eden and look at the NFTs, I kick myself the G's on Ape. I think a lot of us guys, by the way, had a whitelist, and it's not that I didn't want to mint. I missed it. I just forgot, and then that's staring
Yeah,
me right in the face.
same with me actually. I missed that one. I was kicking myself on it.
There's some real cooks over there. I mean, I'm bad with the names of those projects, but there was an art collection that dropped probably a month or so ago. That
is it Waves?
That might have been.
I believe. Yeah,
got to a couple thousand really floor. Cool. I mean, it was. There's some special stuff going on over there already. Okay, time frame for Ape. I've always wondered this. I guess when the need was found, or when there was a realization that we needed something like ApeChain, and then how long it took from getting to that point, kind of the idea of it, to then all the way up to testnet, to then the mainnet going live. What does that look like time frame wise? How long does it take to build out a chain?
Yeah, so it's an interesting question, and I would guess that depending on who you talk to on the team, they'll give a different answer. In my mind, ApeChain was talked about since the launch of ApeCoin, right? So I remember when Horizon Labs, when I was there working on ApeCoin's launch, immediately we were like, does it make sense for us to try to push to build a chain for something like this? But one of the things that I think kind of held that back for a couple of years until it actually happened was that ApeChain and the Ape community and ApeCoin DAO and everything, it's not about blockchain technology, right? It's about crypto community and how basically crypto is going to kind of envelop itself into our daily lives around the world. So we didn't want to go as a community and focus on trying to build like a fast blockchain that works really well or things like that. And it wasn't until relatively recently that you started seeing this kind of rise of these great technical stacks, right? From Arbitrum, from Polygon, from ZK Sync, Optimism, all that kind of stuff, right? So once those were ready to go and basically could offer their technology to build a platform for our community, then it started becoming really interesting. And it was at the end of last year that there was basically like a big campaign by a bunch of them to go and win the contract essentially to build ApeChain. So it was between Arbitrum, Optimism, ZK Sync, and Polygon. And Horizon Labs, that's how I got involved with it, along with Spencer, who's still part of the team there too. And we were working together with Arbitrum because we liked their tech stack with the Arbitrum Orbit the best, and basically did a big campaign, won it, and that was I guess around January, and we started building from there, right? So started with things like, okay, how do we design an Orbit chain that is slightly different or interesting? And one of the things we immediately hit on was like, okay, we need native yield. This is all about end users and making their experience good. Let's make sure that you make money without doing anything on ApeChain, right?
Which is that, and I think you said native yield. Is that really cool? I think innovation, and I think I saw this a few months back. Literally, just holding ApeCoin means you get more ApeCoin. You don't have to stake it. You don't have to do anything. Is that right? And what a great idea! I can't believe somebody didn't come up with that before. I'm glad it's you guys.
So basically you move your ApeCoin to ApeChain, and on the back end it locks it into the staking, Ape stake, and you're earning yield. I think it's somewhere around 12 or 13% now.
Wow.
And then on top of that, we also have similar for stable coins and ETH. So we have an Ape USD and an Ape ETH, and that's in the back end with SDI and Lido on the ETH side. So it's ultimately you want, especially if you're asking people to move their funds over to kind of a chain like ApeChain, you want to make sure that they don't feel in any way that there's an opportunity cost to that.
Mm-hmm.
And having this happen kind of behind the scenes without you even thinking about it, you get to go and buy your fun NFTs or play some game or do a trading tournament or something like that, and you're making money the whole way around. And that is a major comparative advantage, differentiator from a lot of other L2s, L3s you see out there too.
Yeah, that's a pretty great incentive for just taking that leap and bridging funds over. And that the reason I haven't gone over is literally just bridging. It's just bridging. It's honestly, it's a minor thing, but I don't love connecting my wallet anywhere. Even even the Pangu thing, I think it's a legit site. I'm not 100% sure. And then I'm like 99.9. And I still don't I just don't like that feeling of any kind of clicks. But you know what? That incentive of that's it, bridge it over, and you win just from doing that is pretty damn appealing. Is there, though, a focus in the ApeChain community, and whether it's you guys or others, to make that onboarding process easier, to get your ETH over, your currencies over easier?
100%. So, Hudah took on something called Ape Portal. Sorry, there's a little background noise.
You're good.
So,
you're good.
So they took on kind of the main bridge called Ape Portal, and we also have Relay, which has a bridge as well, and we're looking at bringing on other bridge providers to make that experience great. But I mean, overall I agree with you, and there's not too many ways around the fact that that's an annoying process. One of the other things we did to try to help with that was Ape on ApeChain is an OFT, so that's Layer Zero's omni-fungible token standard, which I think is a safer bridging form because basically what it does is it mints it on one chain and burns it on the other as opposed to locks it, so you get a little less counterparty risk there. And so in that way, it's helped a lot. And then I know, we're working on other ways for people to onboard directly from fiat onto ApeChain, and probably have some news around that soon with, some of the largest providers in the world for doing things like that. So in the future, you're going to basically just be able to, buy ApeChain on your phone with a click, and be on ApeChain to do whatever you want to do.
Sounds like MoonPay or something awesome like that coming up, which is pretty damn cool. And I think it's one of these things that just over time, if I'm remembering correctly, like Vitalik has talked about, that's just one of the upgrades for Ethereum. Your balance on mainnet, your current, you have it everywhere. You have access to it on any L2. So it is a problem that kind of fixes itself, but great to hear people building around it ahead of that. So that's cool to hear. Okay, along that process of building out the chain, this maybe goes to the regulations, SEC stuff, whatever. But what are some of the biggest challenges you guys faced with it, and biggest lessons learned?
Yeah, I would say that probably the biggest challenge is this is still a very young industry, right? And there's not a ton of data out there on what to do, what you need, what prices are for integrations and things like that. So a lot of it was, us as fiduciaries, I guess, to the DAO's treasury and getting this up and running for them, for our community. It was trying to understand, okay, do we need to go after first in terms of infrastructure? Like, what kind of oracle do we need, right? Or what type of bridge do we need? And is there a way that we can negotiate that we think that it's a fair price to kind of get it over there, right? And that was something that we had to figure out and tackle very, very early on. And what we kind of took as the approach was designing Banana Bill to be focused on commercial agreements instead of pure grants. So basically, any money that would leave the DAO treasury had to have some form of return on investment coming back, so that it was sustainable. And I think that getting that up and running, and also speaking to a lot of projects that are used to chains not doing that and basically just giving them money, was kind of a difficult thing to kind of change people's expectations on it. But I think it's really working now. And the great part is the success of the launch and the clear data around the amount of users we have and everything like that gives us the leverage to make that happen. If we were just a random chain with no one on it, like a ghost chain, it would not happen that way. So that, to me, that was probably the toughest part, is just figuring that out when there's no guidebook for it.
Yeah, no, I can imagine. And like, to your point, it's so early. It's still so early. We used to say that years ago, we're early, and maybe a few years now later, where we're at today, it feels less early, but sometimes it's good to just get that perspective and remember how many of your friends are actually here or actually are not here, and remind yourself we are still early even now, and it speaks to the tech, it speaks to the platforms, it does speak to the amount of people here. So building in this environment, man, hats off to you guys, because it ain't easy. You guys are really, like, literally building the roadmap for everybody else. So we're early. Keep at it, man. It's pretty impressive watching builders build.
It's a lot of fun too, because I think one of the great parts about this job is we get to speak to so many different projects and protocols, right? In almost every segment of the industry. And you start seeing like the passion that everybody has about what they're doing. And it makes you feel like you really are at the cutting edge of something where some of these people that I'm speaking to are going to be building, what will be the next Googles and things like that with it. So it's pretty cool. Yeah, really enjoying it so far.
Yeah, that's really cool to hear, especially like as a techie guy myself too. It does feel cutting edge. It does feel like you're in this like kind of, man, very revolutionary thing, because it is. It is. But to be in this space where, crypto, blockchain, all of that is, again, cutting edge. And then the AI thing is bubbling up here too. I don't know. I'm 44 years old. I've never seen anything quite like this. I'm trying to remember even like a deck 20 years ago, if there was anything that felt as exciting. I got to say, I think no. Is this what,
Yeah.
I mean, yeah,
I
your
mean,
thoughts
maybe the
just generally.
smartphone or something, or the internet itself when
Right.
it came out in like, the 90s or whatever.
That
when we
big,
started,
though.
with yeah.
That world changing is what's happening here. It feels like that.
And I think blockchain and AI, there feels like there's so many use cases where they'll have to kind of work together. So I think it's a great thing for our industry. How that happens, I mean, I'm not an AI expert, but there's tons of things you have to think about, like just the fact that blockchain is about certifying data, right? And that AI pulls data, right? So having ways to eventually compensate people through microtransactions for the use of their content for AI or things like that, I have to imagine that's in the pipeline. But there's also random practical things like our metaverse that's getting built out by Hudah. They're going to have AI stuff in there. There's going to probably be be the use of AI to make it fun and have, you know, non-playable characters that are AI and things like that. It's going to probably be very early stages, but you know, you can imagine that's going to be like the future of gaming, right? Is
Right.
unlimited adventures, basically.
I mean, I was hoping to hear something like that, to be honest. I was shocked here just within the past probably 4 weeks, it really hit me. This AI agent meta that just exploded. What I didn't realize, I didn't see it coming, was that is literally going to bring the metaverse back. And it's kind of happening right now. I mean, it's AI agents right now are training in Discords. They're just chatting with each other and learning from each other. But it makes so much sense. And again, I know people are actually doing this and they're getting ready to plug them into metaverses. It makes sense to plug them into a 3D environment to learn off not just, you know, text, their words, but actually how they're reacting to each other. And then all of a sudden, I'm like, oh my God, you know, we went to these metaverses and maybe, you know, they were really cool. I love that stuff. But maybe there wasn't enough people to make it feel alive. And at some point, you do want to hang out with people. Well, we're hanging out with AI agents on X all day long, chatting with them, and we're having a blast. When they're in these metaverses, boom, all of a sudden the metaverse, I think, becomes what we thought it would be, these very alive virtual, you know, environments. Is that kind of what we might see with the other side, those AI agents living there?
I think so. You know, obviously, Yuga is extremely confidential on what they're building, and I love that, you know, because they always surprise us with something like really groundbreaking and awesome. But you know, my read, I know we were working with different AI groups, so I think that's where we're going to start seeing things. And you know, when you think about it, it's basically a way to kind of customize it for what you want. And I don't know, it kind of throws me back to like as a kid, I used to love those like choose your own adventure books. And it's kind of not that different than that, right? Like you gotta choose what you want, and then over time it you know basically gets you to where your story should be. And I think it's going to make it a lot more fun than, you know, those early days of like going on to Decentraland and there's basically like nothing to do and you're just walking through this you know, thing that looks like it's from 1998 or something like that. Right. So I think we're about to see a massive breakthrough on the metaverse side. So I'm excited for that.
Really cool. And then that, of course, is probably going to fuel like this NFT run, which is here. I mean, NFTs are certainly back, but I figured we would not see, and I'll pull it up here. I didn't think this cycle, as hot as I thought NFTs would be, I didn't think we'd see numbers that maybe even get close to the last, you know, the peak of last cycle, which was, I don't know, 8 billion. No, hang on, a lot more than that. Let me see here. 23, almost 24 billion in sales in 2022. And I'm like, that's a number we're going to beat one day. And I always thought we'll beat that when the metaverse is finally realized. When it happens, I'm like, that's a cycle out. But all of a sudden, AI's made me think that might actually be here this cycle, maybe.
It's potentially. I mean, I agree. I feel like when that happens, because, you know, already we have things like 3D models, right? So like, okay, now my apes can be in the metaverse in a 3D form, right? So once you add in the AI aspects of it, like all of a sudden it's really fun. And things like you were saying with your 17-year-old son, if you get that generation starting to be like, this is where I want to spend my time, then it blows up, right? You know, and if you can get people fooling around on a metaverse with their NFT, PFP, you know, the same way that they're spending time on TikTok, you're going to really see some massive growth.
There's this one a really random or specific scenario I see playing out, but I totally see it happening, which is, okay, AI agents plugged into the other side metaverse, and it does something, whatever that is. It's a big deal. It's the first time an AI agent has ever done whatever it is, right? And I'm picturing it wearing some clothes that happen to be NFTs. And that those then become like a historic digital wearable because the agent was wearing it when it did this historic thing and the news is covering it. And it's just like everybody's minds are blown. I'm like, that's like, you know, a Michael Jordan game jersey, you know, that goes for sale on, you know, on secondary markets. I'm like, that's going to happen. I bet you with these AI agents, they're doing stuff that is just groundbreaking almost damn near every day. And that's the stuff that I think really fuels this, like a metaverse-y cycle. And again, the wearables all coming back. It feels kind of obvious, right? And it'd be a lot of fun to see.
I can't wait. Yeah, it's there's so many things that are going to be coming out from so many people with great ideas that, you know, it's just you know, get our popcorn ready and sit back and see what pops up.
Yep, exactly that. I'll mention to you too, just in case. I don't know how closely you look at numbers, but I've been watching to see if we're going to beat NFT sales wise what we saw last year. I didn't think we were going to make it, but honestly, now I do. Now I do think we're going to beat last year, which is exciting. 8.7 bill last year. We're at 8.4, and I've lost track of the exact number of days, but let's just say like 4 days ago or so, we needed to average 25 mil. Excuse me, 25 mil in sales daily, and we're smashing it. We're smashing it. So at this rate, we are going to beat last year's sales, and then come January.
I like that chart too with the unique buyers there shooting up, which basically tells me that people that were not interested are getting back interested again. So that's pretty cool, man.
Very much. And when I think that same thing that buyers is, I mean, buyers almost maintain throughout the bear market. Nobody leaves. Yes, you might take a break, but ultimately, I think once the magic, it hits you and you realize, again, you might stop trading for a period of time, but I don't think you ever, lose that understanding of what this is going to be. I think you're always going to be here to some degree, and you're always coming back. So to me, that only grows. And then to picture what I think sales should do when they come back, but then the next generation comes in, it's why it's so obvious we will blow those numbers away at some point. Doesn't mean this cycle, but at some point, that looks like a little blip on the radar kind of thing, right?
Absolutely. So I'm here for it, and I hope that part of that happens on ApeChain too. And I think it makes sense that it does. We're really focused on making sure not only that we have, great marketplaces for the end user, but for the people that want to build, that we have those launch pads and creator tools and everything like that too. So.
Yeah. Okay. I have more. Man, I'm not going to get in all my questions. I know I'm not. So you're going to have to come back sometime. You just
absolutely happy to do it. This is fun.
Oh, awesome! I love it. Love it. By the way, your third time back, we got to get a nickname for you. That's just a new rule we have on the show. So, okay.
My ape nickname is Apecurean, by the way. So I'm a big food guy. So.
There he is, by the way, guys.
It's a play on Epicurean, So
I love it. I love it. There he is. I dropped it in the chat, guys. Give him a follow. Okay, I got to make these count. So let me see which questions I just need to know right now. Let's do. All right, this is important. I do want to know this. I heard you on a previous interview, and I think it was actually pretty recent, and you were on with Spencer. Really cool interview, by the way. Just a good chat about the ecosystem. You were talking about the number of users, or it was the number of transactions you guys saw on Curtis, and it was it was an astronomical number of people there testing it out and playing and building. Do you remember that number, and have you seen that translate here to mainnet?
So I remember the anecdote from I think it might have been our team at Caldera, who is our roll up as a service provider, saying that we were in the top 99 percentile of activity they saw on a testnet, and 100%. I think that translated right. Our first few days after launch were massive. I think we even hit a day where we had more transactions on ApeChain than Ethereum. Right. Wow. So. If you a great way to follow it is on apescan.io. And we have, I think we're well over where we at 16 million transactions have happened over the last 2 months. Most days were well over 100,000. It's still obviously something that we got to grow over time. The early few days right after launch, when there was all the excitement, we were hitting numbers that were 600, 800,000, things like that. I think we're going to get that back up there. We have a bunch of new stuff kind of in the pipeline that's going to bring in new users and new trading. So my prediction is that we're going to probably be in that range with some of these other top chains there in the multi-hundred thousands very, very soon. So it's exciting.
It really, really is. Man, that kind of does feed to the other one. I have to know. If you were to describe, I guess, the kind of products that are on ApeChain right now, and maybe also the user base, what would that be? And also then who is the target? What I'm really wondering is, does it feel like a lot of the platforms are living in Yuga Labs' shadow? They've got a vibe, right? They're a juggernaut. And is there, I don't know, any goal of kind of keeping that vibe, or is there a goal of kind of growing it out beyond there?
So, I would say, and obviously everybody on the team might have a different view on it, but my view on it is that ApeChain is kind of the home for crypto culture, right? And you might look at the success with the Penguins right now, and what'll happen with Abstract, And it very much feels like they're trying to go out there and expand to the universe of people that aren't in crypto already. Whereas a lot of the stuff that you're seeing on ApeChain is leaning into the people that are like diehards, right? Like there's, I don't know, like a really popular app that's been on there launched recently was Gains, like G Trade. You do 500 times leverage, right? You got Top Trader, trading tournaments. You got, all these NFT launch pads and creator tools. There's Reboot, so you can do skills-based wagering on pretty much anything, right? So it's very much kind of like if they're, Disney World, we're Las Vegas kind of thing. That's how I'm kind of viewing it a little bit.
That's really cool. Okay, what are platforms that people should be looking at if we're trying to get onboarded? What's some easier places to like get started, to sink your teeth in, and that can range DeFi, NFT stuff.
Yeah, so I would say that if you're looking to just throw yourself in right away, go on to Believer, Magic Eden, MintPad, and Mintify. Check out some of the NFTs there. See if there's an NFT community on ApeChain that you want to kind of get yourself into. If you're not much of an NFT person, you're more of a trader. Depends on what you're interested in trading. If you like trading, more of the blue chips, but in a kind of degen way, check out Gains and do some serious leverage stuff. If
Say
you're
that one
a meme
again.
coin,
It's called Gains.
G Trade, by Gains Protocol. Very, very fun app for people that want to take some risk. There you go. Yep, that's it. Then you got obviously Ape Express, which is our premier meme coin platform. And right now we haven't yet had like a meme coin that has really broken out, but to me it feels inevitable that there eventually is going to be one. So lots of room to run there. And then beyond that, there's games too. There's like Dookie Dash, there's Top Trader, which is really fun. We're going to have some more coming on shortly as well too. So a lot there. And then finally, if you're not just an end user, you're a builder, man, we have, best in class infrastructure. So, this is a great place to build your business.
Man, really cool, really exciting. I love, just in general, the Yuga Labs comeback arc. It's well deserved. It was a bummer seeing them down for a bit of time, and also it made sense for that period of time. And it's great to see the turnaround. I'm rooting for them. I think everybody that's watching is rooting for them too. So it's just been a lot of fun to watch, and fun to watch everything you're building. Darn. Okay, you got to go. Do you think you could sum up what Banana Bill is in like 15 seconds?
Yeah, sure. So Banana Bill is basically the ecosystem fund for ApeChain. So what we do is we strike commercial agreements to make sure that we're bringing on the infrastructure, the protocols, the apps that will help the ecosystem grow and become sustainable in the long run. So that's pretty much what it is. And whether your project is big or small, there's potential that you get funded on Banana Bill, but it's also extremely competitive. So if you don't, there are a ton of other funding sources, whether it's ThinkApe going through the normal AIP process with ApeCoin DAO, or even some of the new grant programs that are popping up on Arbitrum, because we're an Arbitrum orbit chain too. So,
dude, very cool. Very, very cool. Thank you so freaking much for your time here. Awesome chatting about what you're working on in ApeChain. And yes, you definitely got to come back.
Absolutely. I had a great time, and you're a great host here. So, have me back whenever you want, and happy to join. And thanks again for inviting me on.
Love it. Thank you, sir. Guys, I'm dropping his socials here in the chat. I'm going to stick around with you for a few minutes. We can run through the Pengu claim. But Jordan, thank you, man. I will catch you soon.
Catch you on ApeChain. Take care.
Awesome.
Bye.
Peace. All right, dude, what a cool guy. What a freaking cool guy. That was awesome. That was awesome. Dude, I'm a fan. There's great people, great builders here behind the scenes. And I think I wasn't ever sure if I was really going to do guests here, but when they're like that, it's a hell yes doing guests. Like, it's such great people that are building out the tools we use, building out this ecosystem. I could not be more bullish about this space. God, yeah, the collector's trader's awesome. The builder's awesome. It's a special time and place, guys. Okay. I hope you guys like that. I hope maybe you learned something. Hope maybe you appreciate ApeChain. Yeah, fuck you, Lemon. Hudah's WEF approved now. Yeah, maybe. Hey, if it's people like that, then yeah. Get my World Economic Forum foam finger out. There we go. I'm rooting for him. Okay, let's check out Pangu. What did you guys get? How are your claims looking? Have you been successful? Did you get to claim? I'm so fucking scared going to the website still. I think I'm on the right site. And then when I get errors, I'm like, oh my God, I'm on a scam site. Okay, let's give it a try anyways. And I hope you guys are going to cook here. Let's run through it. A reminder, or maybe not even a reminder, might be news if you didn't tune into the afternoon show yesterday. We might have a special guest on the afternoon show today, G Money. Yeah, G Money from 90cc. We've got a tentative yes. We just got to lock that in. So we'll see, but you definitely want to tune in 4:30 p.m. Eastern time right here. Oh, and by the way, just speaking of ApeChain, we did build one of our brand new explorers for ApeChain. Get your asses there, sign up. It's pretty damn cool. For me, it's for discovery. For me, it's digging into the behind the scenes, not volume traded. It's not that, which I like to see, but I like to see how many people are using this and the frequency. That helps me measure, success in a different way. Ape.slam.vision. Check it out. Sign up. More blockchains coming. More tools, more charts, more insights getting baked into this Explorer. But take a peek at that, boys. Lemon, I'm bummed because it feels like that. Wallet draining live. I'm scared to death with Pudgy Penguins anything. I just am because that's the one that got me. Ronan, Pocket Universe, is that the one that'll give you a pop-up if you're on a scammy site? Is that one? I think that's it. I think it's like a security tool, which is really cool. Okay, I'm going to link again. So what happened here is I linked my wallets and I got some errors, and then it says don't refresh, and of course I'm refreshing. So then my balance went to 0. And then I came back and balance was okay. All right, so here we go. I don't know how the fuck Tickle got a bigger ETH OG user balance than me. I don't know how that works, but it's exactly how it worked. Oh, dude, I didn't know Pocket Universe does that. Anybody know him, the Pocket Universe creator? I would love to get him on. Dude, I would love that. That'd be awesome. Okay, I got my ETH address linked. I linked a couple others, and they're not eligible, so I got just the one, I think. Let me try. I'm going to do Phantom. I swear, I'm expecting to click, and my balance is 0 from just doing this before. All right, let's see. Come on, baby. But at this point, have you guys claimed everybody's good? So we can close the help desk? I was even experimenting not putting a name here, if that's maybe where the errors are coming from, but it kind of didn't matter what I did. Wasn't having luck. All right, here we go. Come on, baby. Come on, baby. Yeah, Ronan, I wasn't expecting that. In fact, the OG wallets that they claimed, or that they let you claim from, did you have to go sign up in the Abstract Discord? Is that just straight up if you have an OG wallet and you didn't do anything before, you maybe have a claim still? Yeah, Tickle, it's weird. Especially when I checked OpenSea volume, I'm ranked 2100, which isn't crazy, but it was way more than I thought. I'm like, that I don't know. There's got to be multipliers or something. But yeah, so I'm still getting errors here, which no biggie. Again, every time I click, I'm losing an NFT. I'm sure that's what's happening. Every click, one NFT is transferred out. Tickle, 48,000 or 4,800? Yeah, way higher, and I wonder why. And I would imagine we were in very close to the same time, but I was probably in a month or 2 before. So I imagine even transaction was a little earlier. But oh, dude, Ronan, that's cool. Okay, Pocket Universe has got to be today. That's cool. I didn't realize. You skipped the name. Okay, let me try that. I always guess doing help desk stuff before Web3. First thing I would try, right? Eliminate something. Or try a little something else. Also, did you guys do Phantom? Did you do Magic Eden? Because I noticed, so everything I've been doing has been Phantom. When I try Magic Eden, I don't even get a wallet connection, pop up. But I'm wondering if Phantom is the one struggling, but depends what you guys used. Yeah, nothing. Another timeout. Are you getting that same error too, like a 30-second timeout? As long as it's the same everybody else is getting, I'm cool. You know what I mean? I'm like, all right, I can wait. I think the token's going to do great here. Under 4 bill FDV. Okay. Yeah, so again, hopefully G Money this afternoon. Henry will be a little late to the show too, maybe like 15, 20 minutes late. And then tomorrow, guys. Tomorrow is like, I'm really excited. Tomorrow is normal morning show. And then bonus show at noon or 1 p.m. Eastern time with Bored Elon Musk. That I can't wait for. Talking about Naval. Naval up a little today too. I'm getting pretty hyped for Naval. So yeah, be aware of that. So we're gonna keep these guests rolling. Dude, Ronan, fucking impressive, huh? Wow. Ronan, it adds up, doesn't it? Like, especially if you've never seen your volume before and you just got a ballpark in your head, dude, it adds up quick. It's one of those things you're like, holy shit, I traded $1 million worth of NFTs. It's wild. Yeah, it looks like I'm just going to be here clicking buttons for a while. So be it, right? I'll give it one more try if this one fails. And then I'm not going to keep you here just watching me click, because that's stupid. What else is going on out there, boys? I think we'll be hearing a lot more about CyberKongz. Dude, really cool seeing the space rally behind them. Like, really cool. I'm happy to see it. I know Henry's happy to see it. I know they were like, you got to be nervous. You know, how's the space gonna react to that? Like, are people gonna be like, all right, Kongs are over. I'm out. Just dump all my shit. You know what I mean? There's got to be a fear that that's how the community reacts to it. And then you're hoping the flip side of it. You're hoping that it's everybody rallying. And that's kind of what I expected of this space, that you rally behind the guys who are taking on the SEC. They're the first NFT project, guys, that I didn't realize this. They are the first NFT project to fight the SEC, to not, like, literally bend over and just take it, which is awesome. And we got to support them. And holy cow, 108K Bitcoin. Dude, new all-time high. Crazy. Fucking magic. I do think we're on a fast track here. Fast track to 150 and 120. Lemon, I like the merch idea. Dude, well, Cyberbonk. Dude, I think they need to do like a fuck the SEC. There's got to be something. They should put out merch. And you know what? Some wearables for your VX would be cool. And then also like a physical shirt or a hat, or, you know what I mean? They should do that. I think people would support like crazy. I'd buy a bunch of them and just to support them, but also I think they'd make it look cool. But like an F. Gary shirt, you know what I mean? Like, there's something they could do, and I think people would eat it up. Shit, partner with 9DCC, do another drop with them and do something like really, really nice. But they should. I hope they do it. I hope they'll consider that, especially if you guys didn't hear. Henry was on Thread Guy yesterday afternoon, and so Thread Guy was asking if they're doing anything like raising funds. So like Henry's like, no, but like, you know, like maybe we should consider it. We just don't want to come across cringe and like beggy or whatever. But then Henry, I like that Henry did this. He's like, well, so let me ask, how would that come across? Would you guys buy something like that? And Thread Guy's like, I would, definitely. Thread Guy's like, I'll mint it. So maybe they'll consider it, and I think they will. I hope they will, but yeah, they should. They should. I want to support them. I think most of the space wants to. That'd be great. Yeah. All right, guys. I think we'll wrap here because, again, I'm just going to be clicking. And it's newsletter day. So I hope you're subscribed. Get that awesome newsletter. If not, should I drop a link? I could. Yeah, hang on. I'll drop a link. I'll do that. Give me a quick second, boys. Man, errors. All right. Boom. If you want to get my weekly newsletter, boom. Whirly Girl, great to see you. There you go. Every Tuesday, Dude, 3.5 years, all getting close to 4 years of doing that bad boy. I think I've got like, I legitimately might have the first NFT newsletter in the space. I'm not positive. And I'm trying to say specifically like an NFT focused one. Oh shit, there we go. I think we got it, boys. Yeah, cool stuff. All right, very cool. Dude, awesome. Oh, man, so freaking cool. All right, I'm going to pull this on another screen because I don't know what it's going to show. But, dude, final time was a charm. I just needed that. So, all right, we got our Pangu. Should I give it to the kids? Should I? Should I give a little? Should I spread it? Should I spread it around? Awesome. Ronan, that's cool to hear, man. That's cool to hear. All right. That'll do it. We're out of here. Yeah, Whirly Girl says yes. Okay, I at least got to do some for the kiddos. I give them each like $50 worth of Pangu. Lemon said no. All right, well, maybe that's the vote on the afternoon show. I'm such an asshole. I'm literally split in the middle. Half of me wants to and be a good dad, and the other half is like just a greedy motherfucker who wants to roll that right into Naval. You know what I mean? I want to put that all in Naval, all in. Put it all into whatever. The nothing token. The nothing token. Whirly Girl. Whirly, I bought a little more nothing. It's 45 mil market cap. I'm sorry, but I think that's free. Nothing's going to 250 mil. Nothing might go a lot higher than that. So, I don't know. Token's 4 cents still. I guess the value of my Pangu's just going down, down, down. I don't know, man. I don't want to pull another Magic Eden. I don't know. Damn. I don't know. All right, guys. Have a great freaking day. I will see you in a few hours, 4:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Sign up for the Explorer. Sign up. Sign up for the Explorer. Follow Crypto Slam. And then come check me out in the afternoon. Guys, have a great day. We'll see you.